Hey guys, my name is Chris. Welcome to another episode of How to Copy and Steal. Today is another exciting episode. I'm going to be talking to Skyler G, the owner of Gias Grub. But before we get started, let's roll the intro. What's up, guys? Like I said, today I am joined by Skyler. She is the owner of Gias Grub. So just play a little round of applause. Oh, actually, no, we don't have that sound effect queued up. I'll add the sound of the applause. I'll do it myself. So Skyler, tell me what is Gias Grub?
Yeah, sure. So Gia's Grub is a homemade human grade dog food and treat company. We use all restaurant quality ingredients, and we make everything from by hand, and we make both treats and food for dogs.
Awesome, awesome. So, how long ago? Wait, let's rewind.
Okay.
Are you from San Diego?
I am not from San Diego.
What brought you to San Diego?
Honestly, warm weather.
I feel you.
The warm weather
I feel
is
you.
beautiful here.
Was there anything about San Diego that proved as like a point? Like when you moved here, did you have in mind, I'm going to start a business?
I had always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to start a business. I had ideas about it possibly being food for dogs,
Okay.
but I wasn't 100% on that.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, I realized how dog friendly San Diego is, and just there's dog beaches.
I talk about it with her all the time. It's like people out here have dogs like they have Pokemon. Like
Truth.
everyone's got a dog. And it blew my mind how no one bats an eye. Like being from New York, you have a dog in the train station, people are looking at you funny. You bring a dog into any place that serves food, people are fighting you. Like, get that dog out of here. But over here, it's like what? Like,
Where's your dog? Why didn't you bring your dog? Yeah,
Exactly.
we have the dog section.
We got a dog menu.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously, there really are dog menus at restaurants here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess that is what sparked you. So you came here and then noticed that, right?
I did come here and notice that here, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So what time did you start Gias Grub? Like, when did you start it?
I would say that I officially launched June of 2020.
Oh, so this is like fresh.
Yes. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary next month.
Exciting.
Yes.
Exciting. What were you doing before Gias Grub?
I was doing a few things. Mostly I was a career server, so I worked at high-end restaurants for a while. Before that, I was a counselor's assistant at a halfway house for women with drug addiction and alcoholism. So I've always been in the business of helping people in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, has anything from your past, like, inspired Gias Grub? Like the fact that you were in the server industry and you were behind the, like, scenes? And
Sure. So what truly inspired Gia's Grub was Gia, who I ended up being the logo, Gia's face. And the reason being is because she was diagnosed with autoimmune disease from a puppy. She was medically mishandled from the beginning, so we never really knew what that meant. It was just ongoing ailments and illnesses that developed into polyarthritis, which eventually developed into pancreatic enzyme insufficiency. These all sound like big words, but just a slew and melange of diseases and ailments. And I spent about a year visiting traditional veterinarians every single month.
Yeah.
They would prescribe prescription kibbles and medicines, and she was actually just getting worse. So that made me take matters into my own hands, where I started looking for different avenues. So I actually had switched to holistic medicine, and someone recommended feeding my dog, like cooking for my dog. And this was in 2013. And I had thought, don't feed your dog table food. That's always what we hear. Don't give your dog table scraps.
Yeah.
And it came to be where I was cooking for her animal proteins and veggies and grains or pseudo grains. And in 2 weeks, I saw her going from not being able to walk at 1 year old to running. So the human grade food, it became the cornerstone for her to live a longer life. Instead of passing away at 3 years old, I helped her live until 6 years old by feeding her human grade food.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I wish that story needs to be captured on your website. That story is so sweet. Okay, all right. I didn't need to. All right. So you started this because of her, and I guess you're trying to like, what about her story like made you feel like I need to do this for everyone else? Like it was just that you felt that pain, and you were just like
what happened?
Yeah.
So I truly was just blown away by the results of just solely feeding fresh food.
Yeah.
And
Did you season it at any? Was it just like I would love to just know like more about like when you first did this, like were you looking at videos online like how to cook for your dog, or were you just like like the doctors gave you some things, or were you just like looking at those ingredients like maybe I could do it this way? Like how much research did you go before like going at it?
Yeah, I did several years of research, so in the beginning, when I was first feeding, it was just some minor research I was going, excuse me, based off of friends' recommendations who fed their dogs food. I started reading books on canine nutrition, both because there is raw, freeze-dried, and gently cooked. So I was
okay.
Yeah, there are. You can feed your dog raw. You can feed your dog freeze-dried, human grade food, or you can gently cook it. So those are the three categories there.
Awesome.
And let me see here. So I started reading books on canine nutrition in that sense, and that's where that made my beginning. And then just throughout time, I just continued to do my research online. I actually never got my information from veterinarians. They actually kept prescribing kibbles, which would make her worse. They would increase the pH level in her urine. They would just add so many more issues. So to answer your question, I just was so blown away by the result of feeding human grade food solely that I just had to share it with the world. Yeah. I had to. I really want to prolong your time with your dog for as long as possible and save you all of the mess that I had to sift through, and just tell you directly firsthand, like, hey, if you just start from the beginning and feed quality, quality is key there, foods, then you can potentially save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars. You can increase your dog's lifespan, the quality, and I really just want to make dogs live better, longer lives through quality nutrition.
Awesome. I feel like I didn't even serve up that question well, and you just knocked it out of the park. That was awesome. While you were serving her, while you were feeding Gia, like at any time did you like play around and like mess around with other dogs in terms of like, hey, like I've been feeding Gia this, she's been responding very well. Like at what point did you start to give this to other dogs, or start to even talk to other owners and be like, hey, would you be interested in this? Like, at what point did that happen?
Sure. Let me see here. About 2019, I started taking cooking human grade food for dogs a little bit more seriously. And I guess it was just my dog at that point.
Yeah.
And I started to think like, hey, I want to start a business. Like I know that this is something that I want to do, but I really wanted it to be something that would help dogs, help people, help the community, and be helpful for the planet as well. So it had to meet all those standards or requirements. And I was actually working at a restaurant, and I believe this was 2019. And I said to my general manager that I had this idea about starting this human grade food and treat company for dogs, but I hadn't, actually done the work yet. And I said, I just need to start with one dog. I just need to cook for one dog. And he said, you can cook for my dog. That's fine. And that's when, that was literally the first customer I ever had.
Was he, did he pay you when he first started? That's awesome.
I
To just
know.
get out the door and just get a paying customer. That like proves the concept. You're like, this works.
Yeah, exactly. And I did start walking around. When I still had Gia, I would take her on walks, and I would randomly ask other people walking their dogs, like, hey, would you be interested in human grade food for your dog.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what does that mean? And it's like, oh, just like turkey and quinoa and broccoli and rice. Like, would you feed your dog that? You know, and so many people were saying yes that I was like, okay, you know, basically testing out that market to see if it works.
Out of all of your first customers, what percentage do you think came from what I call, those are guerrilla taxes? Like, what percentage came from that?
0.
0?
From
you
from
reaching
just
out?
asking around.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. But still, like, you put the word out there.
I
like,
did. I put the word out there. So once I started cooking for the general manager there, I started to realize that this was something that was totally doable.
Okay.
That would definitely be a lot of work, but it would suffice really. So I started to just put myself out there. I started to just ask people, like it really started with like friends and people I knew. They supported me very early on, where they bought food, which I actually didn't have treats in the very beginning.
Okay.
Initially, I wanted it to be just solely a food company.
When you first started, how many flavors did you have? Like, did you come at it with just like one offering, and you were just trying to just like, this is what I do this type of food, or were you like diverse in terms of like your offerings?
I was just with the one recipe. I was
Okay.
like, this is the recipe that we have, and this is what we're doing. Is this something that's going to work for you? I essentially figured I'd start small and then work my way up that way.
Okay.
And then essentially I got into farmers markets.
Okay.
And it was something I was actually reluctant to do, but I figured
Why?
that it would. Why?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if it would work.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought maybe I should go a different route of straight for retail accounts or, things of that nature. But I said, you know what, let me go with the La Jolla Farmers Market, which is actually where I started and where I still am.
Okay.
And just go with community.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm someone who's from the community. I'm making these food and treats for your dog for you.
Yeah.
And that was it, and it just really, it started off really slow, and now I can't even not be there without people saying, where were you? And
That's
we need our
awesome.
grub. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
Do you ever sit back and wonder like what would have happened if you went the other route? Like, because I honestly, I think like you went the best route, like starting locally, like the Gary V's of the world. Like they say, everyone often tries to start something and take over the world first, but you can't do that.
Exactly.
You got to take over your own place, then you got to take over your block, then you got to take over like maybe the square radius of like a mile, and then you just go little by little by little, and then you just bank on the fact that like someone from that small community is going to spread it by word of mouth. So the fact that you're in La Jolla, which La Jolla, people out there making bank,
Yeah.
so you got a
for
good
sure.
customer base. But the fact that they're making bank and you know that they're well connected, you're one connection away from like, I don't know, selling dog treats to Matthew McConaughey. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you pivoted me back. So now you're still doing the markets. Is that what you're focused on now? What's next for Gias Grub after
Sure.
that?
So the markets are what I'm focused on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Gias Grub offers, like I was saying, both food and treats. And so with the food, aka Grub, we can sell them by themselves, which are nutritional boosters.
Yeah.
And that can be either incorporated with food that you're already feeding, and for whatever reason, maybe you want to keep kibble. Some people, most of the time, it's about cost efficiency. And then if you want to transition even just to 50% fresh food and kibble, we do offer a custom meal prep service where you could do 50% or 100% grub. And those come in pre-portioned containers that, God bless you, Sadie. We got a puppy sneezing. I love it.
Mama,
Come here.
come, Sadie, come. Say hi, Mama.
Hi.
Say hi. Say hi.
Love
it.
So, yeah, we pre-portion grub for you depending on your dog's size breed, weight, and age.
Okay.
And so it's just totally convenient where you just refrigerate, open, and serve. And that's just ready for you. So you can get that in 2-week options or 30-day options,
Okay.
delivery or pickup at the markets.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so delivery, so this, I have a bigger question, which is how does creativity play a role in your business? But before I even get there, like you're talking about shipping, delivering, how are you, like, is this all just you? Do you have a team? That's the bigger, do you have a team right now?
Sure. So I started Gias Grub completely by myself. I created Gias Grub from scratch.
Okay.
And I was making food and treats on my own up until this past September. So September 2020. We moved into a commercial kitchen, and then basically I needed some help.
I was gonna ask, a commercial kitchen. So like this, because if you could throw up the photos, like it looked like is that your whole spot, or like?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. So we have a treat team comprised of those two lovely ladies there, Liz and Coral, and then I have one other person that helps me make the food now.
Oh man.
Yes, and then I have 2 people that help me work the markets as well. So it has become
You've got a ship.
Team. Yes, I have a ship. I have a ship. So it's definitely evolved into something so much bigger than not than what I would have planned, because I dream big.
Yeah.
But faster than I had anticipated, rather.
That's exciting. I have questions in terms of like, how was it like hiring your first team member? Because I'm gonna get there at some point, and I don't even know where to begin with that. Like,
totally.
How did that work?
Just hiring their team, you're saying?
So yeah, like who was the first person that you hired on your team, and how did that come about?
It's actually a really funny story. So this is the first business I've ever attempted. Okay. So I really came into it just with a bunch of drive and determination, obviously with a lot of passion and love from Gia, who just continues to make me a canine nutrition entrepreneur. And so I think that spark like really just pushes me forward. And so I said to the first person who started working for me, Liz, we got into the commercial kitchen. It was our first day. And I'm not, I have restaurant experience front of house, very minimal back of house. I'm by no measures like a corporate chef or a kitchen manager even. I've worked hot stations and salad stations, but nothing to say that I ran a restaurant's kitchen or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing my best here, right? And I walk in the very first day, and I have my supplies, and Liz is with me. She goes, "Okay, so what do we do?" I said, "I have no idea."
So wait, you had your own ingredients, like you go into this kitchen and it's just like yours to use.
The equipment was ours to use, but everything else was my responsibility to bring in.
Okay.
And including how to manage this team. So I quickly figured out what I needed to do. All the measurements for the treats and the food and the supplies, et cetera, et cetera. And now it's honestly like a well-oiled machine. We have people making the dough from scratch. Actually, with just these 3 ingredients, we use oats, pumpkin, and peanut butter. We use all organic ingredients. So we just make the dough from that. And then we handcraft every single treat and bake it. And so that team does the treats. And then Brett and I, we are cooking up, up to 300-400 pounds of turkey in these huge, they're called tilt skillets, and whipping up broccoli, carrots. Yeah, and it's really cool.
So how much of this, like, because I'm assuming you're getting all these things, like, so you're sourcing all these things locally too, so that you're like, it's cool because like you're a business that's giving business to others as well, right? I'm assuming you have partners and relationships with these farmers where they can like give you a certain amount. That's that's full circle. Like you're really giving back.
I am doing my best.
That is awesome. So I'm assuming now you first started and there was like no workflows and like you were dirting as much dishes as possible. And now you guys have everything like labeled and they're just like flying.
Yeah, so I always say it up to health code, but excuse me. So now,
oh wait, that's an even better question. You just mentioned health code. Like, what did you have to go through? Like, are there certain things you have to go through in order to be able to sell food to dogs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are many permits and licenses,
Okay.
insurance, etc. So it's basically just doing your homework and what your business needs specifically, and it really just depends on what you're selling. But yes, because I'm using animal protein, it doesn't fall under what's called the cottage law, where you would be able to have an at-home business.
Okay.
You have to have it up to code. So I do use a commercial kitchen that's already certified in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And so initially, when we did get in there, I was, didn't have any systems or processes in place, but, working in in the restaurant industry for 15 years, I was able to put it together, and just said, okay, what makes the most sense here? And how can I maximize our time and make it more efficient, et cetera. So it's been really cool to even just the past several months watching Gias Grub just evolve and become really smooth and throughout these processes.
But I think the most important thing that you said, like, it didn't happen overnight. Like it was a day by day thing as your process started getting better, right?
Yes, definitely day by day. I put in, are there enough hours in the day? No, I can't. I work a million hours a week.
Yeah. Okay. I had one question.
Oh, yeah, sure.
One thing I wanted to ask, and maybe this could be like a clip of content for you. So the question is, what are the benefits of fresh food for dogs? Like, for someone who's on the fence and they're seeing this blow up now, like, if you could give them one nice, concise, like, explanation why, take it away.
Yeah. So feeding your dog fresh food will improve nerve function. It will boost their immune system. It prevents disease. They get shinier coats. It helps clear tear stains, like the tear. If you ever see dogs with the stained corners in the eyes.
People don't pay attention to that.
Right.
Like, I hate when I see like poodles or like Malteses and they have tear stains all the way down to their neck, and it's like, just
someone help this dog.
Yes, like,
give them
please.
some Gias Grub. So it does that. Any skin issues, whether it's environmental or nutritional, the fresh food really helps with that. So really, it is overall health and wellness. And the way I describe it is the same thing goes for us humans. The difference between eating McDonald's or In-N-Out versus meal prepping, even just going to Whole Foods or buying organic or buying locally from your farmer's market, it really makes all the difference in the quality of your own health as a human being. Yeah. And the science and the research is finally just starting to become increasingly more popular, and that is true for your dog as well. So this has always been the case. It's just now, at least here on the West Coast, it is really starting to become more popular, or I should say more recognized. Yeah. And so that's why I would say, like, hey, fresh food is going to help most of the issues. And I don't want to say that, if your dog has cancer, fresh food will help your dog, but it's not going to cure cancer. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It can help with those smaller issues and prevent diseases or help prevent cancer, not guaranteed, but it can help with all those things, just like us humans, if we stay fit and we eat right and we drink water. That's another huge thing, is 70% of water content comes from their food. So you'll actually see your dog have a decrease in their water intake. Maybe they're not drinking as much water, and it's because it's coming from their food. Whereas you can compare a dog that's eating kibble and they're thirsty all the time, because you can compare it to eating pretzels. Like, it's really salty and it's dry and it's like just absorbing.
I was going to ask a question, because like there are some kibbles where like they're all about, oh yeah, we're healthy, we use nothing but like grade A ingredients. Like, do you have any like tips for people to like find the bullshit and like call like, how do I know whether something I'm feeding my dog is good or not?
Yeah. So basically, really quick on kibble, I just want to explain that even when you're putting, say, quality ingredients into kibble, once you process anything, you're extracting the nutrients from the food. So you can be using the best thing, but if you're, it's coming out of an extruder and et cetera, and you're turning it into this shelf stable, product, then how nutritious is it for you?
Yeah.
So there's that. But, so I'm not an advocate for kibble, but I will say that if you're going to choose a kibble, then look for anything that starts with proteins, like chicken. Like you want to avoid chicken meal or anything that you can't pronounce is a good sign. I do that for my own food as well. I usually only buy fresh, but if I needed something, like a sauce or what have you, I look for just those whole food ingredients, and that is what you're looking for. Okay. But I always say, like, Gia's Grub is gently cooked human grade foods. Okay. But if you're feeding raw, like, good job. Like, good job being a dog parent that cares, or as I like to say, a paw rent. A paw rent that cares.
That's right. It took me a minute to get that.
That's awesome. Free shot, I say honestly, anything is better than kibble, just because I wouldn't want to feed myself fast food every day either. Just because I am so passionate about having dogs live the best quality life possible, and that's through nutrition.
Okay. Awesome.
Question.
Oh, yeah.
So right now we're feeding Sadie, like, mostly fresh food, but also partly kibble.
Sure.
Is there any benefit to even putting kibble with fresh food?
There is.
I thought it was like a texture thing, like, get a little crunch in there. I don't know.
Sure. That is your preference.
Yeah.
Like, for the dogs, though, it doesn't matter too much, but it does help them in the sense of that those kibbles are formulated in some sense for them to get, let me see here, some nutrients and minerals that they do need, so it could help in that sense, but you could easily supplement that for an organic multivitamin, such as organic, I think it's called Pet Organics, makes a multivitamin. There are a few companies out there that you could supplement with. Little fun fact, if you wanted to add your own calcium in with Sadie's food, you could just take eggshells and grind them up into a powder, and that's pure calcium content. And you would use 900 milligrams of calcium per pound of food.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then we use that in Gia's Grub as well.
You can eat the whole egg, Sadie. I usually cook her eggs in the morning. Like, I'll just do scrambled eggs. Lately, I realized we can use coconut oil. So, like, I did it with coconut oil, and she loves her scrambled eggs. But now we know we can give her the show.
Yeah, definitely. On Gia's Grub Instagram, we provide DIY recipes sometimes, and we always include coconut oil or the calcium content, etc., because it helps with their immune system and their efficiency as well.
Okay. You brought up guides, and it reminded me of the question, how does creativity play a role in your brand? Because I notice you put attention to your logo and your brand. Your market doesn't look like any Joe Schmo's market presence. Like, you have a dope market presence. You have all these things. I saw on your website you had like a guide. Like, where is all this coming from?
Tips for your dog's health. Is that what you were looking at on there? Yeah.
Like, where is all this coming from? And is it just you? And like, I love that stuff. Like, to me, that's like, it shows me that you're passionate about it. But like, where does that come from you?
This is the truth. It comes from when I had Gia. Like, it really does. Like, I'm constantly just thinking of ways of how to just showcase what Gia's Grub is, who Gia's Grub is, our mission for dogs to live better, longer lives. And so it's like, how do I get that message across to you? And it's simple things like, hey, I just want to show you that we use organic peanut butter, and this is literally the peanut butter that's in there that we use. And just so that it's really simple for you to see that this is what we have.
Are you getting these concepts? Because that's social proofing. Like, that's showing someone, like, hey, this thing is real. Are you getting these concepts from anywhere? Or are they just, that's you knowing, like, I care about the experience. If I was eating this, I would want to see this, and therefore you're just showing it to, like.
Exactly. That is what I'm doing. It's like, hey, what would I want to see? I was, a stickler for what my dog was able to consume, right?
Okay.
What could go in her body, like what was going on. So I would always have really in-depth questions for people, even if it was dog toy accessories. It's like, hey, are you a sustainable company? Where are you getting this material from? And so because I'm so inquisitive, I'm still a dog mom at heart. I'm just waiting for that right one to come my way. And so I just am like, hey, what would I want to see as a parent who really just
You use it comes so natural.
I love it. You know,
you need to make merch like
this
that.
is parent.
Yeah,
You're right.
like I'm a
It'll
dog
say
mom.
like a new shirt. It'll just say like parent across the top and Gias Grub.
Yeah. My bad, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. So like, what would I want to see, and how would I want it to be presented to me? And so I try to do the same for Gia's Grub. And I'm a pretty straightforward person in general. So I try to keep it like short and to the point and just like clean cut, you know, and just so that people don't get confused or overwhelmed or, you know, and I'm extremely knowledgeable in my profession. So I'm happy to answer any questions, you know, and yeah, it kind of just stems from myself. And then I would say, you know, people do, you know, I have a lot of friends that have businesses as well. And we always are constantly, you know, talking about how we can make our businesses better and how we can be more helpful to our communities and how can we do that.
Yeah.
So there is definitely some brainstorming with friends and whatnot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, who are also entrepreneurs. So I would say it's a team effort.
Is there anything in particular that you say like that you've done that you were particularly inspired by? Whether that be like your logo or anything that you've done where you're like, you know what? Yeah, I took that from this because I love that experience or.
Let me see here. I would say, I don't know. I guess it really just comes like, I believe like devil's in the details kind of thing. Right. So even like, it's like this table, like someone made this table like specifically for the treats. And it's like, hey, like I saw that you were using that table and how it like showcased your product and it really helped me in that way.
Yeah.
So I would say things like that. There are a few much larger companies that are doing food for dogs that I was really inspired by. You know, there's the Honest Kitchen and Farmer's Dog, Just Food for Dogs. So, you know, all of these companies are doing so, you know, paved the way starting several years ago. And they have been really inspiring to say like, hey, I can start something like this too.
So how does that work? Like the fact that there are other companies that exist in this space and they're doing what you're doing and they may have more money behind them so they can like, how does that play a role into how you operate your business? Do you ever, are you ever operating out of fear because of that? Like how does that work?
Sure. So I believe that there's always room for competition. And that, you know, it's like, it's more so about why buy Gia's Grub, right? What makes Gia's Grub different?
Yeah.
And I truly believe it's because of Gia and the relationship that we had. And I spent several years of my time, love, energy, cooking, investing, etc. And it's like, hey, I personally care about your dog and your dog's health and your experience, and I can relate and I share my story with you. And it's like, this is why I'm different, because I'm not this like franchise, like huge corporation, nationwide corporation. It's like I'm a small business owner in San Diego wanting to help you and the community. And, you know, I really think I could be helpful in that way where, you know, these huge corporations can be helpful in different ways for other people in a different scale, a much different scale.
That was beautifully answered. There is room for everyone to eat. And exactly. I agree with you 100%. Like what makes Gia's Grub different? It's you. It's your experiences with Gia. That's everything. One thing I was going to ask, so what is next? Like what's coming down the pipeline for Gia's Grub?
Sure. Pretty excited. We do have some new things going on. We are going to be making CBD treats for dogs.
Okay.
Yes, I'm partnering with Skyler from Toy Blossom Company.
Yep.
And we
Shout out Skyler.
the Skylers.
Yeah.
What are the chances, right?
Yeah.
Another Skyler. And so we're collaborating together to make CBD treats. It'll be the peanut butter and pumpkin treats with CBD, a 30 count of 150 milligrams and a 100 count with a 500 milligrams. So those break down to 5 milligrams a treat. And what I love about the CBD is so many people have issues with my dog gets severe separation anxiety, you know.
Does that help with that? Like, I feel like we haven't given CBD to her yet. I'm not sure if there's like something wrong with giving CBD to dogs that haven't reached their full growth yet. I don't know if there's any. I don't want to damage her or anything like that. But yeah, like I've seen dogs take CBD before, but I've never seen any like noticeable effects. Like there hasn't been a dog that I've seen besides maybe, I don't know if you've ever been to Alex's house.
I have.
Blue always, every time I see Blue, I always think, all right, he's a CBD dog, because he just gives me beach vibes. But what does CBD do for dogs? Like, what is it supposed to do?
Yeah. So what it does is it quite literally eases discomfort and anxiety.
Okay.
It will promote appetite. It can ease joint pain. And it just has these calming properties. What I love about CBD isolate, which we make into it's full spectrum CBD, which we make into an oil using coconut oil, organic coconut oil. There are 0 negative side effects for your dog. Your dog could get into, say, the 100, even
at like the age range too.
Even the age range, because there's no THC, there's no psychoactive properties. So long as the CBD oil does not have any psychoactive properties, then it is totally safe for your dog to eat. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes for it to kick in, and then it'll last about 6 to 8 hours. But what I truly love about it is that just in case, Sadie's like, she loved the peanut butter and pumpkin treats. Say she like gets into the container, knocks it over, and while you're not looking, she eats every single one of them. She'll just fall asleep, but she won't be harmed in any way, shape, or form. And that's what I really love about it, is that, hey, this can't even be harmful. It can only be helpful. So it really just depends, once again, on the size and weight of your dog. To see how many in this case, would be treats. How many treats would you give them per day to help with joint pain or the separation anxiety, etc.
How quick do those take effect? Like in terms of them eating them?
About 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there any like tell signs that like she's feeling it now? Like, would you just notice like?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, if your dog is a nervous dog, they kind of have that nervous look in their eye, or they're like walking back and forth, pacing, or they're in the window, and then once the effects start to kick in, they're more so like chilling with their toy or like on the couch with you, and all of a sudden we're in San Diego again, you know, and just chill vibes. So you'll be able to see that. And a lot of people like them for the puppies because, they get the zoomies and they're just maniacs, the puppies.
I know.
So people like CBD for that reason too.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like, Priscilla, did we try it at all with her? No, right?
No.
No?
I've been tempted because, as I've brought up before, this dog she gets separation anxiety, and then also like she gets the zoomies like no other.
Talking about it, I'm gonna wake her up real quick.
She's such a cutie.
I'm gonna disturb
She's
that
just
little
sleeping
nap.
with her head on the pillow. What a baby.
He was like, oh man, I forgot we had guests. I totally forgot we had guests. Oh. Say hi to the people, Mama. Say hi. Say hi. Nope. She's like, get me out of here.
Hi, baby. Do you want to come up?
Oh, yeah, she wants to go
Do you
up.
want to come up? Here, come on. Come on. Come on.
Go up,
Hi,
Mama.
Mama.
As a baby, she used to do that all the time to us. We would have
Really?
to pick her up on everything.
Oh
She's
my
just
gosh.
doing it now because she's tired, but yeah.
Hi, baby.
Oy, oy, oy.
Aw, hi, baby. What a munchkin.
All right. So, any closing statements? My question for the closing statement from that I would like is like, what would be your one piece of advice to anyone looking to start a business, whether that be in your space or outside of space, like anyone who's looking to start a business, like you just started this, you are flowing, and you've got a team, you've got like your business is bringing business to other businesses, like things are flowing. Like that's kudos, congrats. That's awesome. That is fire.
Thank you.
What's your piece of advice for someone who just wants to start?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up, Chris, because I was looking at your Instagram about Copy and Steal and just how you want to create this environment for people to make a start. And where are you going? See you later.
Bye, Shady.
Bye, Sadie.
Bye, Mama.
For people to make a start, and then even just here in San Diego. So, I would say if you want to start a business, like I really love Nike's saying, just do it. I really do, because it is just doing it. I mean, I started this business in COVID. You know, it was March 2020 happened, and I just had this dream, and I didn't want a pandemic to get in my way. Yeah. And I just realized that, if I want to make things happen for myself, then I have to just go out there and get it. And so I just became inquisitive. I just started asking a bunch of questions to a bunch of different people, started just researching, and basically I didn't know what to even do. So I just started with a logo. Alex actually made my logo.
Yeah, I got off the phone with him. I just called him recently because I remember seeing something like that on his desk. And I asked you for the assets, and I called him. I was like, did you create this logo? And he was like, yeah, I did. I was like, why? I should have just asked you for all, like, you would have gave me all like the design files that I could have like at least seen with the typeface. But anyways, right. it was dope.
Yeah, that is cool. So yeah, I just started with a logo, and then just kept putting one foot in front of the other, with just keeping my dream in mind. And
how did you not lose your shit while doing that? Because like that's terrifying. It's the beginning of a pandemic. You're pivoting. You're starting a new career. Did you still have your old job? Like, yeah, when did you phase out that old job going into this?
Yeah, so I had started working for basically a cocktail company, bartending. Lost my job from COVID, and then I had a part-time job at a chiropractor's office, only working there a few days a week. And then I realized, like, I need to get out of the restaurant industry. I'm not getting any younger. And I said, okay, this is the time to do it. And I'm sorry, you said, how did I not lose?
How did you, so you answered it. You pivoted, like life pushed you into this position where you were like, I need to pivot. Like I need to do something. And you were getting out of the food industry. So yeah,
getting out of it. Well, I would have stayed. And then when I lost the job because of COVID, I realized, like, hey, it's now or never. Like, do this now or never. And I'm just really determined to make it happen. And so I'd say for anyone that is trying to start their own, like, hey, like, you can do it. There are tons of resources out there. It's just a matter of finding them. And most of the time, people are more than willing to help, because people do want to see you succeed, and they want, if you have like a quality product or a quality service, whatever it is, like, and it's going to let me see here, like, fill a demand, then you're going to be successful. So it's like, just go out there, don't be scared, like, just go for it, and know that there are a bunch of people out there that are doing the same thing, and it is pretty scary, but really exciting, like, to essentially, like, jump off that cliff, so to speak, where it's like blind faith, like, this might work, this might not. But I really believe that if it's an honest product and an honest service, then it's going to do well.
Intent is everything, and
absolutely,
you have the right intentions.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Skyler, for joining me on this episode. To everyone out there, I don't know what camera I'm looking. I'm just going to look in this general view. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of How to Copy and Steal. We're going to take a little break, and we're probably going to come back and show how Sadie reacts to the food.
Ooh.
And yeah, then we'll just wrap things up. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, that's right. Like and subscribe too. I'm new to this. So don't peace just yet. Like and subscribe, then peace. And also like and subscribe to Gias Grub as well. Oh man, I'm all over the place. Now you guys can leave. Bye.